Dear members of the Harvard Albanian Student Association, dear organizers and guests, unfortunately I'm not able to be there with you in person. I'm addressing you from Paris, where I'm chairing Kosovo Economic Forum, a platform bringing together government and business representatives for investment opportunities in our country. Current infrastructural development needs call for $7 billion for new transport, energy and environmental projects. I would like to thank you for facilitating this event, which recognizes Kosovo as a country that is inclusive both in its legal framework and democratic governance. It is also a pleasure to be among friends. I'd like to thank Mr. Hyland for all of his efforts, and of course, in particular, General Clark and Ambassador Walker, who played a pivotal role in stopping Serbia's genocide and liberating our country. Our Constitution offers wide-ranging protections, especially in terms of minority rights. The Council of Europe, the foremost human rights body on the continent, has acknowledged our country's achievements. Parliamentarians from 46 European nations, based on our detailed reports, overwhelmingly agreed that our Constitution is a progressive one. According to the report by the eminent lawyers, our Constitution goes beyond international standards. Our legal framework provides for broad and crucial freedoms and has codified important laws such as the freedom of expression and the freedom of the press. It carefully considers that Kosovo is a multi-ethnic society and provides robust protection for minorities. This includes quotas for minority members in all senior state appointments, such as in the courts, the Public Prosecutor's Office, the Central Election Commission, and other public sector jobs, including the police. The Serb minority in Kosovo, which comprises about 4% of the population, governs over a quarter of the municipalities and holds reserved seats, which are more than 9% of the parliament. The Serbian language is recognized as an official language at every administrative level all over Kosovo. The Serbian minority is granted legal power to block laws, and non-majority communities also possess significant extended powers in such areas as education and healthcare. These freedoms stand in stark contrast to those in Serbia, where Article 10 of the Constitution states, for example, that the Serbian language and the Cyrillic alphabet shall be official forms of communication. It also lacks provisions to accommodate minorities in areas such as cultural heritage, public media representation, and guaranteed seats in the national legislature. However, a strong constitution requires strong institutions to enforce it. The challenge for our leadership is to apply the rights guaranteed in the Constitution and align them with the challenges we face as a country, as a continent, and as a world. Just a few days ago, the Nobel Prize Committee decided to highlight global inequality when awarding its prize in economics. The winning trio, Acemoglu, Robinson, and Johnson, discussed how institutions are formed and affect prosperity. They emphasized how institutions can be more egalitarian and how democracy and the economy can work together to serve the people. When the economy serves only a few, it threatens democracy. The attack that follows is not just on economic policies, but on governance and the system itself. This is the reason why we've seen a rise in political instability and attacks on democracy. Right-wing populism has misused grievances under a liberal system in order to attack constitutional governments as a whole and ultimately cause more grievances for all. For both economic growth and democratic progress to occur over the long run, it is vital that no segment of society feels excluded. A country that is for all must not only have a vigorous constitution, but also uphold its duty to protect that constitution, and not only in the strict legal sense. This protection also has to be carefully molded to serve the challenges of the country and the issues at large that affect all societies. In practice, this translates into needing both accelerated and more inclusive growth, especially in countries where economic systems are more vulnerable. According to recent World Bank statistics, today, almost 8.5% of the global population lives in extreme poverty, on less than $2.15 per day, with lower income countries facing higher poverty rates than before the pandemic. For us in Kosovo, the past term, the only one to be completed in our country's post-war period, gave us the institutional stability to propel growth. In the past 3.5 years, we have seen an average of 6.2 economic growth, and both exports and foreign direct investment have doubled. From the first quarter of 2021 to the last quarter of 2023, overall unemployment has decreased from nearly 26% to around 10%. Business turnover in 2023 was 58% higher than in 2019, the pre-pandemic year. In Kosovo, ensuring equitable growth and providing opportunities for everyone, regardless of their background or the challenges they face, has been a top priority. This is why we have made public higher education free of charge and provided over 300 million euros in financial support to more than 118,000 farmers through subsidies and grants, a 275% increase in funding wheat and corn. Over the past 3 years, we have allocated more than 10 million euros to support students and introduced a new minimum wage of 350 euros. Additionally, the health budget has been a nearly 50% increase from 2019 to 2024. National efforts have also focused on employing victims of domestic violence, ensuring that everyone benefits from the country's progress. We've also made considerable efforts in our green transition in both solar and wind energy. By 2030, we want to reach 1/3 of our energy consumption made by renewables. As we grow and progress, we will remain true to the protections clearly stated in our Constitution. We also commit to listening to the demands of the all minority communities in our country and weighting political requests based on their impact on ordinary people and ultimately on legal stronghold that protects them. One such request is for the Association of Serb Majority Municipalities, the association that Serbia is seeking without first recognizing Kosovo would require executive powers taken either from the government or municipalities, which would undermine our constitution. The same is valid for the specific guarantees for the Orthodox churches and monasteries, which enjoy special protective zones from dozens of acres to thousands of acres. This demand would require governance from a layer that is not legally regulated to offer the wide range of protections that the current order offers. Here is when the demand for more is actually an offer for less. The example of Kosovo and the empirical research of leading social scientists, among other evidence, prove that leadership prioritizing greater equality is not just an empty, nice-sounding phrase, but quite the opposite. It is the key to long-term, fast, and sustainable growth. In conclusion, the present setup of the country requires both good laws and strong institutions that understand the purpose of the rights enshrined in those laws. The combination of a progressive constitution and a social democratic government in a liberal democratic order has propelled our country forward, ensuring that all of our citizens benefit from our society's remarkable advancing. Thank you very much and wish you all the best.